The Mets step right up and greet
and
the
Lindor
Mets.
hits one in the air to deep left field. Back goes Yelich to the warning track. Looking up. It's out of here.
Have the time of your life
Lots of
because the Mets are in
out of sight. Now a two-run bomb into the second deck for Pete Alonso.
East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets.
Fly ball left field. Back goes Maton looking up at the wall. And it's out of here. Mark Canha. Turner drives one to center. Chasing Yellow back to the warning track.
Hold that hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets. All the fans are true to the orange and blue. So hurry up and come on down.
Going back. Warning
We
track
got
ball. And goodbye. Home run. For the Mets tonight has come with 2 strikes. Goes lifted down the line. They've got another. It's a home run.
Come on and meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your
2-2.
kiddies,
10 months
bring
ago,
your
down on
wife.
strength.
Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really something to
Cruz goes down on
fall.
the changeup.
Knocking those home runs.
Swung out and missed strike 3. Got him with a hard slider. 1-2. Struck it.
Everybody's coming down to meet the METS
Pitchers combined for the second no-hitter in New York Mets history.
of New York time.
Mets fans, I would first like to, Mets and overall baseball fans, I know we got Rangers fans coming in here. Thank you all so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. I don't know how long this show is going to go on, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do. As you guys all know, if you've been followers on the channel, I have started to get anxiety panic attacks over the past couple months, and this is something where I'm not too caught off guard, so I'm going to try to do my best here. But naturally, as a fan, as a Jacob DeGrom lover, this still pains me like no tomorrow. So just bear with me. If I need to take some time to take a little bit of a deep breath, please do not wonder, is this guy okay? Trust me, I'm fine. I don't know how to feel right now. I really don't. And for those that are probably wondering, why am I, not too worked up, even though I'm definitely worked up? I found out that this was going to happen exactly 40 minutes ago. And I didn't know for certain if it was going to happen, but I trusted the people that I had spoken to that this was, in fact, a strong likelihood. I wondered, would the Mets counter here? The belief was that they would not. And as I was getting ready to go live here at 8 p.m. Eastern time to just do a normal free agent frenzy live stream, the unfortunate reality as a Mets fan has, in fact, happened. Jacob DeGrom has signed a 5-year, $185 million deal. I mean, literally, I even had on the graphic $185 million. That was already preset before the news even came out. So I did know about this. And yeah, my face is flush. I don't even have my hat on. I'm all over the place. Look, I understand why the Mets didn't do this. It's a 5-year deal, AAV, $37 million for 5 years. I get it from their standpoint. And I understood that if there was any team that was going to come in and dethrone the Mets when it comes to owning Jacob DeGrom, it would be the Texas Rangers. I didn't initially think that, but it was made clear that they were going to go all in for pitching. They desperately needed. They hire Bruce Bochy. They make some moves. They bring back their old pitching coach as well. Yeah, for the Rangers, congratulations. I hope for your sake that Jacob DeGrom stays healthy. This feels like a Nolan Ryan situation, too, with him in Texas. My God, I'm just happy. I will say, as much as I am absolutely heartbroken about Jake leaving, I'm happy that he's going to the Texas Rangers. I think that's the best scenario as a Mets fan that we could ask for. And no, I'm not going to sit here and say that I hate Jacob DeGrom. I'm not going to turn on him in one bit. We all knew that he was looking for the bag, rightfully so, okay? And again, it was up to the Mets at the end of the day. If they want to counter at a 5-year, $185 million deal, if the Mets gave that same offer, would he have accepted it? Maybe. There's a solid chance that he would have. If the Mets offered, of course, 5 years closer to $200 million, he probably would still be a New York Met right now. But no less, again, I don't have an ill will with Jacob DeGrom. I know that there's a lot of Mets fans out there that feel very conflicted, and rightfully so. I understand all those feelings. I'm trying to garner mine right now as we speak, but now we're going to be getting into shortly in the show what this means for the Mets going forward, because they have to fix this now. You lose Jacob DeGrom, the best pitcher on the planet. The fact that this man is not going to pitch for the Mets again, I think that's what hurts the most. I just want to take a moment. And again, I understand everyone, you're going to be for or against what I'm about to say. I just want to take a moment to sincerely thank Jacob DeGrom for everything that he has done for this Mets organization. A 2-time Cy Young Award winner, a man that took a discounted deal with the Mets during their time with the Wilpons to stay in Queens. And we all knew he was going to opt out. Again, if the Mets really wanted to bring Jacob DeGrom back, if they felt that confident in his health or lack thereof, they would have signed him to this deal. But it was clear that clearly Texas Rangers, they were willing to go all in on a 5 years. That's where I didn't expect the Mets to go. And again, maybe we're going to find out if Jacob DeGrom had a preference for Texas as well. We're going to find out. But I just want to further thank Jacob DeGrom once more for everything he did for this New York Metropolitan team. It was nothing short of an absolute pleasure watching him on the mound. He is simply the best pitcher when healthy. He has the filthiest arsenal, the filthiest stuff. I'm not looking forward to facing this man because I'm sure the Mets are going to face the Texas Rangers next season with the change in schedule. So this is gonna hurt a lot, absolutely. And again, I'm rambling here. I'm just trying to garner my thoughts. I know we got some donations. I'll get to them shortly. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button as you're entering the show, folks. I greatly appreciate. Breaking news: Jacob DeGrom, for us Mets fans out there, is no longer a New York Met. He has signed a 5-year, $185 million deal at AAV at around $37 million. Oh, my goodness gracious. I just got a text of someone saying Dagon. Yeah, I know. I'm mad, but I'm not mad at the same time. It's just the fact of, you guys know, whether you're a Mets fan, whether you're a fan of whatever team you are watching this, whenever something like this happens, it's always surreal at first because you never would think that your star player would end up leaving, right? You push it aside. You hope it doesn't. And again, I'm glad that I'm handling this the way that I am right now, because it wouldn't have been surprising at all if I came on here. I would have been on here crying. So I'm thankful to certain someones, they know who they are, for putting me onto this prior to it becoming public, because if that didn't happen, I don't think that I would be able to talk to you guys at the moment. I really don't. So let me get to a couple donations here. We'll talk more about what this means, not only for the Texas Rangers, Jacob DeGrom, but for the Mets as well. But again, guys, make sure to continue smashing that like and subscribe button if you're just chiming in. Greatly appreciate it. For those that don't know, if you're new on the channel, we are the largest Mets platform here on YouTube, not directly affiliated with the Mets or SNY. We have been grinding content consistently for the past 2+ years. And thanks to all of you, we are very close to 20,000 subscribers here on the channel. So if you're new, if you enjoy consistent Mets content, this is the place to be. Make sure to smash those buttons. And thank you all once more. I do really, really appreciate it. But let me get to some donos here. Then we'll go forward. John, thank you for the $5 donut. John says, they better spend big. I'm so pissed. And don't give me Verlander. Verlander very much can be a reality. That's the crazy thing, but we'll get into that. I feel like I was stabbed in the heart. There are no words. Me too, Dave. I feel that 100%. I feel that. Absolutely devastated. I get it, Chris. Thank you for the dono. Appreciate you a lot. So, guys, let me put a poll here in the live stream. Then we'll go forward. Man, and we're already around 100 likes. Thank you guys so much for that. Continue smashing those buttons. Greatly appreciated. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Does this stain? This stains big time. Hold on. Give me 1 second, everybody. I want to put a poll here in the live chat. Damn, man. Okay, I'm putting a poll for my Mets fans. My God. Why? What did Mike Puma just say? Hold on, let me check. Okay, the Mets never got to a final offer with Jacob DeGrom, according to a source from Mike Puma. I mean, you could kind of read this from how Billy Upper was talking to the media, what was it, yesterday or the day before, when asked about Jake, he was very tight-knit, would basically say, just go beating around the bush with it. So thankfully, I will say, as heartbreaking as this is as a Mets fan, the good thing is that there are options out there. The only issue is that the Mets need to make sure that they land these damn options, or else they're screwed in the sense of wanting a dominant rotation. Again, you don't need to have the best rotation in baseball to win it all, but I think the Astros are a prime example of not only having a stud rotation, but depth and your bullpen, along with a stud offense. I mean, they were star-stud all around. The Dodgers, same thing, though they, of course, choked when it mattered most in playoffs, but you want the best possible players at every position. And evaluating Jacob DeGrom once more, I'm not too surprised by this in the sense that I understood there was a large belief that if the Texas Rangers were to go to 5 years, the Mets weren't interested, at least not to that degree. Would they have shown interest? Again, this is a very fluid situation. We'll follow more reports as they come out, but I will say that it makes sense for the Mets as to why they did not make this deal, as long as you address what you're supposed to. And how do you address it? Well, there's guys out there. I think if you get a Carlos Rodon and you bring back a Chris Bassett and you land maybe one more arm, I think that's a solid move. If you land a Justin Verlander, who I'm not in favor of for the sole purpose of, I have the same concern with JV as I do with Max. It's the same type of contract over and over again. I'm not against Justin Verlander. I'm against Justin Verlander on more than 1 year, honestly. And he's at minimum going to get 2, depending on the player options. So JV, I mean, fuck it. If you go out and you get JV and a Senga, JV and a Rodon, even though I don't see that happening, if you make sure that you at least land 2 of the tippity top of the list pitchers out there still available, then I think you're in solid hands for sure. The issue, though, is that when you look at Rodon, he's been a stud the past 2 years, but he's dealt with injury concerns in his career. JV, he just won the Cy Young, but the guy's going to be 40. How reliable is he going to be for more than a season, let alone down the stretch through a normal 162? Every option that the Mets have right now are not certainties. And I think that was a heavy factor that went to their decision with DeGrom. It's like, what are they more comfortable with? Potentially upwards of a 3-year deal on a 40-year-old that just won a Cy Young, or guaranteeing 5 years at roughly $40 million per year. We'll see exactly what the contract breakdown is for someone like Jacob DeGrom AAV-wise. Right now, it's $37 per year, but that may change based on options, whatever it may be. But point is that you can tell that the Mets seem like that, as of now, they were more comfortable with a shorter-term deal at similar AAV than going all the way to 5 for Jake. Whether or not that's the right decision in the end, only time will tell. If Jacob DeGrom stays healthy or these next 5 seasons and he continues to be one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball, then it's going to hurt. Absolutely. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But we'll see. Andy Martino, free agency is moving fast. Justin Verlander is now front and center for the Mets. Oh my God. I can't, man. I can't with this shit. Oh, let me get to some donations, guys, and we'll go forward. Again, just according to Andy Martino, free agency is moving fast. Justin Verlander front and center for the Metropolitans. As much as this DeGrom decision happened and it pains me, I'm glad it happened now, though, so we didn't have to wait any longer. Now the entire market's going to speed up. JV's going to sign sooner than later. Rodon's going to sign sooner than later. Let's just find out where these guys are going to land. It's about time. These winter meetings are going to be absolutely hectic through the roof. John, thank you so much for the $100 donation. I appreciate that. Help me, Worry. Spin this news as positive as you can. Help me. I'll try my best, John. Thank you for that donation. Hype in the chat to you. But simply put, the Mets were never comfortable going 5 years with Jacob DeGrom, it would appear. I understand that. I don't disagree with that. I just think that no matter the route the Mets go, we're not going to know right away if it was a win or a loss for them. Time will tell. That's how I view it with Jacob DeGrom. Time will tell. If he stays healthy and he lives up to that contract, then the Mets lost out. They should have went. And if Jacob DeGrom continues to be injury-riddled throughout the remainder of that contract, the next 5 years, then you could say that the Mets came out winners in the end. But it's ever fluent on how Jake performs, how healthy he is, and we'll see what happens. But again, we also don't know for certain how much interest Jacob DeGrom had in, say, going to the Rangers more than the Mets. This could have been more of a personal preference thing that we don't know at this juncture. I don't know. We're going to find out, I'm sure, later tonight or over the next couple days. More stuff regarding Jake and this decision will surely come out. But no less, thank you so much for that donation. It really means a lot to me, brother. Sean says, I feel physically ill. I'm in mourning. This is worse than being knocked out of the playoffs in the first round. Upside, more money for top-tier pitching. Exactly. The Mets thankfully do have options out there. It seems like Justin Verlander may very well be a reality. One of the topics that I was going to discuss tonight in our live stream before the DeGrom news happened was that DeGrom and the Astros are far apart right now. Pardon me, not DeGrom. That being a Verlander. I don't think JV is going to go back to Houston at this rate. I could be wrong, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. Hold on. And of course, the Sock Puppets, the team I played against, that's essentially a minor league team earlier this year with a bunch of great YouTubers, just tweeted at me and said the following. Y'all okay? Draftnik Mark, 5 points vids, and Wardy. Mets striking out more than the Bros these days. Tough. Damn, that hurt a little bit. Sean, thank you so much for the donut. I appreciate that. Matthew, thank you for the donation. Everyone's emotional in the wrong way right now, but guys, we got to still love Jake for what he did for us. He's an all-time Met. I wish him the best. I agree. I think that stings a little bit too, knowing that Jake had reiterated for a long time how much he wanted to be a full-time Met, retire as a Met. Maybe he will. Who knows? Maybe by time he's around 40, like Justin Verlander, he'll return to Queens to cap off his career. Maybe like a Seaver situation over again. We'll see. But no less, thank you for that donation, Matthew. I will always be a DeGrom lover, and I'm just grateful again that one, he's in the AL, and two, he's with the Texas Rangers. That's something I can live with as a fan. If he went to the Braves, I would, very good chance you would not see me on this stream because I would be in like a hospital bed somewhere. But all jokes aside, Penn Mets, and I'm really not joking. Thank you for the dono. I can't blame DeGrom for taking the contract, but I can't blame the Mets not wanting to go 5 years plus a possible 6. Oh, is there an option for a 6? Makes even further sense then. Another part of me believes he really wanted to move on. I think two things can be true at the same time. Penn Mets. Thank you for that dono. I appreciate it. Let's see. Justin, trade the farm for Ohtani. I think if Ohtani happens, he's more likely to happen next offseason when he's a free agent than now. But we'll evaluate that, of course. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for that dono. How the Angels are operating right now as a team that's trying to compete again next year. Let's just see what else they do. They always start off the offseason making quick moves, but then they don't do much more beyond that. Pat, thank you for the dono. This is the third time for me. Ryan Seaver, now DeGrom. I'm getting used to the pain. I know. That's another thing, too. But again, there were a lot of factors that went into this decision that went beyond simply Jacob DeGrom being the best pitcher on the planet when healthy. It was one, what was his desire to return versus going to Texas? Two, what was the Mets? Is it worth the risk for them to go 185 or pretty much $200 million? We'll find out over time. We don't have an answer right now. So I can't just sit here and say that the Mets failed by not bringing him back at this price point. Let me put it this way. As of now, you understand the rationale as to why the Mets did not bring DeGrom back at this price point at these type of years. The Mets have been more focused on short-term, high AAV type deals, and now we will go from here to see what they do with Justin Verlander, Carlos Rodon, Kodai Senga, even talking about more depth options, whether that's, again, Chris Bassett, Jameson Taillon, and Taijuan Walker I don't see coming back. The guy I talked about today in a separate video is potentially a long reliever or a guy that can compete for the back end of your rotation. That being, and why am I blanking on his name right now? My goodness. Fujinami, who was just posted by the Hanshin Tigers. Pat, thank you for the donut. I appreciate that greatly. Mets have options. That's a good thing. And I wonder how this impacts bringing back Brandon Nimmo. You'd have to imagine that this favors Brandon Nimmo returning to Queens. If the Mets lose both DeGrom and Nimmo this offseason, the two guys who looked amongst the bigger priorities, I will lose my mind. 100%. Sam, thank you for the dono. Sam says, would rather have Rodon Senga or Rodon Bass instead of DeGrom. Also write down Mets sign Ohtani as free agent 2023. Hopefully you're speaking into existence. A lot of Mets fans have optimism with Ohtani, and rightfully so. Thankfully, we have a GM that literally went out of his way to make sure that he signed that man. So that is a plus. Thank you for that donation, Sam. Hope you're doing well. Again, breaking news for people just chiming in 20 minutes in the show. Jacob DeGrom is no longer a New York Met. He has signed a 5-year $85 million deal with the Texas Rangers. Oh, my goodness. What's up, Grant? Make sure to check out Jenny Mets, one of the best Mets fan pages you guys can find for following all the latest news and rumors as well on Twitter. 40,000 followers are right for Jenny. Make sure to check him out. Dave, thank you for the dome. Must give Verlander, Rodon, and Senga Bassett. You're not going to be able to get 3. That's not going to happen. I think it's pretty clear that the Mets not getting DeGrom means that they will likely get one of Verlander and Rodon, and then one of a Bassett Senga. So I don't see them getting 3 out of the 4. I see them getting 2 out of the 4. One from Group A and one from Group B, as you proposed it there, Dave. I think that's very realistic for them. Absolutely. What's up, Rory? You think Uncle Steve goes scorched earth now? To a certain degree, I do. I think the Mets need this to happen. That way they can really open the floodgates this offseason. And I have a rather uncomfortable feeling that Justin Verlander is going to become a New York Met. Oh my God, just the post from the Rangers of him and his Ranger Photoshop. I can't. I can't, man. I can't. Fuck. Oh, damn, man. Keep it together. Keep it together. We're going to keep it together. Son of a bitch. My apologies for the profanity as well, guys. I'm sorry. If we don't sign Nimmo now, I will literally die at this point. Yeah, I mean, you have to bring him back. Who are you replacing Nimmo with? That's the thing. Look, if you do it with Bellinger, I mean, if you're not going to go out and get a stud position player like a Correa or a Turner, I want nothing to do with Belling center. Because, I would want Belly as maybe a DH option. Maybe. Or corner outfield. Like, I don't understand it. I'm not in favor of moving Marte to center either. The guy's in his mid-30s, just had surgery on his abdomen again on a muscle. He's not getting any younger. He's going to continue to slow down. Why the hell are you going to shift him to center after playing him the entire past 2022 campaign? And makes zero sense. You're going to cause more injuries, and I will stand by that because it's foolish to think otherwise. I'm in favor of the Mets with the short-term contract notion. That's why, again, Verlander, there is definitely upside. The guy just won the Cy Young. I get that. But he's just coming off of another championship. How much drive and hunger does a Justin Verlander have? That's another thing that concerns me, okay? Not that him and Max can't be dominant, but same way that there's concerns with Jake on a multi-year deal. There's the same thing can be said with anything more than 1 year for Justin Verlander. Same thing that can be said if you go 5 years on Rodon. However, Rodon, he's probably going to get a similar contract to like a Zach Wheeler, and I'm not opposed to that, okay? Rodon, if the Mets can get a towering lefty in their rotation, sign me up. And it seemed like Rodon was more likely to go to the Rangers for a good period of time than DeGrom. So as long as the Rangers don't get Rodon too, I will be okay. Sprite, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Let's see. I was ready, but I wasn't ready. When you switched off live and came back on, I knew something big happened. Drinks up tonight. DeGrom literally gave the majority of his career to the Mets and only the Mets. And again, I will always love Jake. Guys, come on. All right, I'm going to start crying soon. I love Jake. I will always love Jake. This just sucks. As a fan, it sucks. Knowing that literally the most dominant pitcher when it comes to everything about Jacob DeGrom as a pitcher is just so electrifying. You cannot compare him to anyone else. I'm sorry. I love Shohei. I love all these other players, but Jake is his own entity. Okay. So just knowing that at minimum for the next 5 years, he will not be in the Mets uniform. Maybe he'll return the same way that the Mets got Max and are inevitably going to get JV. Watch them get JV now when they're in their late 40s. The Mets have to get 2 frontline starters and re-sign Brandon Nimmo. Michael Mayer says, I 100% agree. Oh, damn. Sprite, thank you for that dono. I appreciate that. Man, oh man, this stings. This stings like a bee. AZ, thank you for the dono. Mr. Grombo, Rodon Senga sounds nice. It does sound nice. I'm not disagreeing with that. If the Mets get Rodon and Senga, I will be very excited for next season. Let me put it that way. It absolutely will be. Let's see. Thank you for that donation. I don't want to see any schmuck say same old Mets. You're not paying attention. That's okay. Timothy, thank you for the donut. We better get Rodon now. I mean, the only reason why I could see the Mets not getting Rodon is by them just going all in on Verlander. Same way that the Mets wouldn't get Rodon could be similar to why they didn't bring back Jake. Do the Mets want to give a 5-year deal starting pitcher wise to anyone out there right now for a team in a 3 to 5 year window when they're already 2 years in? I think that's why JV is so appealing for them on more of the short term. Even at max of 3, which I'm not in favor of. That's again a Scherzer contract 2.0 situation. Even at a max of 3, I understand their thought process there versus wanting to go 5 for a Rodon, who, while he's been healthy the past 2 years, he has been notoriously injury prone for good portions of his career. Do they want to take that risk? And there is a compensation pick tied to him. So you can understand why the Mets don't get Rodon. However, I am very much in favor of him. I think he would be phenomenal for this rotation. And he's younger. I like that. I don't need a fucking grizzled vet at the top of my rotation, like every year now. Like Jake, it was relatively young in comparison to what we're seeing right now with the likes of both Scherzer and Verlander, who I really do think Verlander is going to come here. At this rate, I will almost be surprised if he doesn't. The Mets need to bring back Nimmo, get Verlander and Rodon or Senga, get a Turner or Correa, and trade for Shohei just to make the pain of this feel better. Get a Turner. I think Nimmo has a very good chance of happening still. I think Verlander and Rodon will not happen. I think it'll be Verlander and a Senga or Bassett. I think Bassett's actually more likely to come right now than Senga, given latest reports. But again, latest reports were that the Mets were feeling comfortable about DeGrom returning. Should he be offered similar contracts? But maybe actually that makes sense. So if the Mets never even bothered to offer him a similar contract to what the Rangers got. So I can understand. I get a Turner or Correa. I don't see either coming here as much as I would love it. And trade for Shohei. I don't see the Mets trading for Shohei either. So I guess we'll see what happens. I think Shohei has a very good chance of coming to Queens, but I don't expect it to be until he's a free agent. Would love to be proven wrong, though, depending on the price, because he's a rental. Texas Terrence, thank you for the donut. I'm assuming you're a Rangers fan. If so, congratulations to you. Again, tip of the cap, congratulations to all Rangers fans out there, that being Texas Rangers, as I'm watching the New York Rangers hockey game. A lot of Rangers stuff going on tonight. But I will say, for Rangers fans, as long as he's healthy, Jacob DeGrom will blow you away like never before. He will quite literally be the best pitcher that you have ever witnessed since Nolan Ryan was on the bump for you years ago. I don't see how anyone can top Jacob DeGrom when he's healthy and has his pure stuff. The guy is an alien. He's not human. Everything about him makes no fucking sense. Pardon my French. I mean this in a positive notion for Jacob. I love and appreciate the man to death. And once more, I'm just happy that he's not in the NL. I think that really, really feels good. And knowing that he's going to be able to carve up Garrett Cole and the Yankees, and jokingly I say this, it's going to be fun to see him go up against a lot more AL teams. I'm interested in that for sure, but I'm curious to see what his presser is going to be like when he's officially on the mound. I'm going to lose my mind. Like I'm going to mentally break down again, all over again. Pat Met said, thank you so much. I went through the Midnight Massacre in 77, losing Seaver and Kaneman. This hurts, but Cohen and Epler have shown that they know how to pivot. Give them a chance. Absolutely. And it seems like that this was a focus for the Mets from the beginning. It feels, until proven otherwise, just speaking from the information we know right now, it feels that the Mets were always under the notion that they were not going to go past 3 or 4 years for Jacob DeGrom. And as of now, you can understand it. Anthony Recker's texting me right now. Rex saying, you can probably just replay the episode where I told you guys I thought DeGrom was leaving. And now he wants to go back to talking about a bet that we're doing between the Niners and the Dolphins. I love you, Rec. I hope he sees this. I'm going to clip this so he can see this. My co-host, Anthony Recker, MLB Network analyst, former New York Met. Rec, you got to understand, it's different, okay? You're a former player, bro. when you were younger, you understood the feeling as a fan. But for me, that again grew up with Jacob DeGrom from the beginning. I've been as a Met fan diehard for as long as Jacob DeGrom's career has been going on, essentially. So don't give me them jokes right now, okay? I don't want to talk about any freaking NFL bets. Get out of here, Rec. We'll rediscuss it in like a day. I can't do that right now. Who does he think he is? Oh, if only he knew the pain. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it, man. Pat with the dono. Thank you so much, Pat. Think of what Jake's record would have looked like if you were able to score some runs for him. And that could be a factor as well in the wide in return. I'd be fed up too if I got no effing run support every single time I was out there. It's ridiculous. The guy has like a losing record when he's been the best pitcher since sliced bread. It makes no sense. John, thank you for the dono as well. He didn't want to be here. Get Rodon Senga, but now no excuse to not sign Nimmo. I agree. No excuse to not sign Nimmo. Unless the Mets have like a Brian Reynolds trade ponied up, which I'm really not in love with the idea. As of now, at least. That's ever changing. Yeah, I agree with you, John. Thank you for the dono. Buttersweet. I know you meant to say bittersweet there, Matthew. Bitter because I know he'll win a Cy Young once more, and sweet because I love DeGrom, but LFGM don't think this halts things at all. I don't think it halts much either. I agree with you on that one. Hold on, guys. Let me check what the poll is saying right now for you guys in the live chat. Give me 1 second, everybody. And guys, help us get a 300 likes. We're 100 away. Greatly appreciate it. Continue smashing that like and subscribe on. Thank you all so much again, all my new viewers. We are like 1,000 subs away, right around there, from 20K away. We're the most consistent Mets channel you will ever find here on YouTube. So continue smashing those buttons, and thank you so much in advance. I do really appreciate it. Okay, let's see here. So the poll, as of now, this is a tight. I like that. It's a tight race. Let's see. Hold on. Give me 1 second, everybody. As of now, the poll says, Mets fans, are you okay with this? I put for Mets fans, right? 49% say yes, 51% say no. That's crazy. That's crazy. This is just as much of a divide as the United States is with its politics. It's fucking wild. Thank you for filling out the poll, guys. Make sure to continue doing just that. Let's see. Oh, and also got to make sure to let you guys know that today's show, like all shows, is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. So make sure you head over to betonline.ag using promo code Bleav at BLEAV. That way you get a 50% off welcome bonus. BetOnline, it's where the games begin. Did that in like 30 seconds. Let's go. Not even. Josh, thank you for the dono. Josh says, dude, brother, I remember that type of pain. I feel you, T. Morey. Stay strong, man. Josh is like the nicest Braves fan you'll ever meet. His girl is a Mets fan as well, so they naturally have that divide, just like the poll that we have here in the live show in his household. Thank you for that dono, my man. I appreciate you. Let's get into further comments here, guys. Bring in the judge. Let's slug our way to the World Series. I don't see that going to happen. I really don't. Yeah, I don't see that happening. But thank you for the dono, JV. I like the optimism there. Jake isn't a snake. Stop it. Stop that nonsense. Oh, shit. Okay, guys. According to Andy Martino, just said Jacob DeGrom's agents didn't involve the Mets in the process as he was negotiating with the Rangers. Fuck. Okay. All right. Well, less things that you could pinpoint on the Mets if you want to then. If that's the case, that's pretty clear that Jake wanted to leave. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm still not going to hate on Jake. I'm not going to. Okay. I will always love Jake. And Jake never looked like a big market guy to begin with. He's always looked like a country boy. Am I surprised if this was a factor in things where Jake really just wanted to make sure that he went to Texas? No. I mean, not. The guy's driving like an F-150. Whatever you call it. He's driving that Ford truck all the time, or his Chevy. I know he got customized show a couple years ago. He's wearing a freaking cowboy hat in his free time. I'm not surprised by this. He's from Jacksonville, Florida. All right, he's already a little Southern boy. It makes sense. It just sucks. That's the only thing. It just sucks. As a Mets fan, it sucks. Sal kind of chimed in. He's fuming that I don't give a shit what Sal has to say. Okay, I really don't. His opinions are null and void for me. I'm good. Let's see here. We got more donations, I think, to get to. Eddie says, hard pill to swallow, but we've seen the last of DeGoat and why. He'll always be a Met in my heart. This sucks, but glad he got money and made the choice he wanted. Yeah. I agree with that as well, Eddie. Thank you for the dono. Orphanage Builder DeGrom has evolved to LeCap James. Oh, how far we've fallen. Thank you for the dono. If you know, you know. Grant, thank you for the donation. Keep up the great work, my friend. Also, don't think I've ever seen you without a hat on. Yeah, I know. I didn't feel like having the headache because I knew that a headache would arise with the news happening. So I decided not to wear the hat. Just got a fresh cut today. Not bad, not terrible. Sat in a chair for like an hour and 20 minutes because my barber takes the time chefing it up. They're speaking in Hispanic, so I have no clue what they're saying. It's always a fun time. They're probably talking shit on me, but that's okay. Grant, thank you for the donut, brother. Love you so much. Make sure to check out Jenny Metz on Twitter, guys, if you haven't already. But yeah, I just want to know more of your raw reactions to this, guys. I'm really curious to hear everything that you guys have to say. Thank you so much for the donuts. I appreciate that. Let's see. I like how I tweeted that Verlander's so Met feels inevitable, and everyone's upset about it. Everyone's upset about it, and I don't blame you to an extent. Depending on what the contract would be, I don't blame you. I don't. But I think in the scenario where the Mets got Verlander, naturally people are going to criticize it harder right away, simply because of the fact that we've lost DeGrom. If we didn't lose, if the Mets lost DeGrom, say last offseason, right, and we were already a year without Jake, and then they went out and tried to get Verlander, so let's say hypothetically on a 2-year deal, an option for 3, I think fans would be a lot more in favor of it, but especially knowing that nothing will ever top Jake. Realistically, it stings. And if you suggest any pitcher not named Jacob DeGrom, you're like, F out of here. I want nothing to do with this. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. There's no one that I want to return more. And it stings like hell that I was accurate with my predictions of the 5 players who will not return for the Mets for next season. Jacob DeGrom was on the thumbnail, and son of a gun, I was right. Not a fan. Not a fan. Not happy about that. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. DeGrom jersey to Cooperstown, sending you a blank check for Aaron Judge. Love that. Thank you for the dono. Wish your Braves sign him. There isn't a day where I don't thank God that he's not an Atlanta Brave. We're a 100-win team without Jake. I agree. I can agree with that as long as they make the proper moves. They're not a 100-win team right now, but they definitely can be as long as they address everything that they're supposed to this offseason. And I expect them to. Here is a great poll for your site, Worry. Who was the most dominant Mets pitcher, DeGrom or Seaver? Great question. I think pure dominance, you'd probably favor Jake with his stuff, but I think you can credit Seaver to being more of a true Met in the sense of never wanting to leave from the beginning and even coming back before his career ended. So that's something to keep in mind too. But that's definitely an interesting conversation, Pat. Thank you for the dono. Smart man. I will probably hop on that wave. I'm not even going to lie. Oh my, just the thought of Jake facing the Mets. I can't. Don't make me think like that right now. Don't comment that. Don't make me think like that. Stop it. I didn't jinx it. It sucks. I put him there because I knew that there was a 50-50 split on if he would return or not. I said in the video that I hope that he would return. But man, it sucks. Fans don't understand how a lot of these guys don't want to play in NY. It's for Bassett comment. Bassett wants to return. So I don't know how true that is, CD. I think you're putting too much into Bassett's original comment. He's really like Queens. It's just a different environment. And yeah, there are a lot of players that have been here, and then over time, when they get a chance to leave, yeah, they want to leave, not because of a team issue, but just solely because of the fact that they don't like the market. And I don't blame them. Mets fans are cracked out. I love all you guys to death. I love all my diehard fans watching, but we are miserable. We are insufferable. This fan base is slim to none, far and away, especially on social media. We are toxic as all hell, and I get it. A lot of it's justified when you haven't won a championship since '86. Well, you know who you are. There are the Frank Flemings of the world that, regardless of the success that this team has, they will always find a way to talk down on them. It always happens, and the players know about it. The players follow far more on social media than you realize, and the media is always up your ass like crazy. It's not like any other city. It really is. New York is in a class of itself a lot. I can't even compare it to LA. It's different in LA too. Yes, it's big media, but it's more celebrity based. Than like New York is simply ridiculous when it comes to the media. Okay, if you cough the wrong way, people are going to be like, "Was that in a negative tone?" I mean, Jacob DeGrom, are you mad? Why are you mad? Oh, Jacob DeGrom's mad because he didn't get run support. Oh, Jacob DeGrom wants to leave. Like, they drag that shit out. Okay, and I know that I'm exaggerating here, but the point stands. There are a lot of factors that go into a player wanting to be part of the Mets or the Yankees organization in New York for the New York factor alone. And I understand it wholeheartedly. Just covering the team is a lot as is, dealing with this fan base. I love it to death, but I know that it's crazy at the same time. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not for everyone. But yeah, that's definitely a fair comment to an extent, CD. I get what you're saying. I really, really do. Dave, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate that. I have faith the Mets will make up for this. Hang in there, Tyler. Dave, thank you so much. And Dave, stay tuned. I will be shooting you a message soon as well. I did get everything that you sent. Thank you so much for that. I've been meaning to get back to you. Thank you kindly for the donation. Hype in the chat to Dave. Great member on the channel. Great supporter. Let's see here. Here's a tip to keep DeGrom away from the Mets. Let's focus on what ways to make the Mets great again. Yeah, I agree. Let's focus on ways to make the Mets great again. Very, very spoken of you in a very Trump way. That's fine. But let's talk again for the Mets. Someone says Martino. Guys, Martino, the schmuck that he is, has me blocked. If anything new comes out from Manny Martino, please text me a photo on Twitter of Martino stuff. Okay? I hope the Mets don't do anything tonight. That's all I ask. If they do anything over the weekend, that's fine. I just hope that we just have a night to like marinate, understand what's happened here, and then over the next couple days we find out the Mets make a move. Let's see here, guys. I'm getting messages quick from Martino. I would not call Verlander a plan B for the Mets, by the way. Team has been very impressed with and enamored of him through free agent process. Shit. Okay. Again, this is what it came down to, guys. When we talked about Verlander and DeGrom to a T, endless times, I always said, what are the Mets going to favor more? Are they going to favor potentially 5, maybe even 6 years of a pitcher who, when healthy, best pitcher on the planet, but can he stay healthy, versus 2 to 3 years of a guy who just won the Cy Young, and the only reason why you have concerns is the fact that he's turning 40 next year? For a team in a win-now stage, with 3 more years of this current window, that Steve Cohen has famously said, we're already 2 years in out of the 5, 3 to 5 years, right? So say max 5. It makes sense, okay? And I think it just comes down to the fact that the Mets want more certainties on shorter terms. Even if there's risk, I think they rather take risk more on the shorter term than the longer term. Your ace is out. I know my ace is adios. He's not my ace anymore. It is what it is. I love Jake, but he's gone. Now it sucks. It is what it is. It is what it is. Got to focus ahead. Trust me, I'm going to get emotional. Trust me, I'm going to have moments of wanting to basically cry. When he faces the Mets, I'm going to be absolutely I'm going to be a mess. I know I am. Let's see how we're doing in the poll. The poll is still at 51% of Mets fans not okay with this out of roughly 1,400 votes. And guys, we are halfway to 500 likes. So continue smashing that like and subscribe on. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys all so much in advance, as always, for the endless support. Help us get a 500. That's what we're trying to get throughout our next short-term goal on the stream. Continue smashing those buttons again. Thank you so much. I'm going to just check any new updates I'm getting at the moment, and then we'll go from there. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. Another thing, as a question to everybody here in the live show, by a show of hands, who here is not surprised by this? Use the hand emoji here. Let me know how many of you guys are not surprised by this happening. For me, I'm a little surprised, but not crazy surprised. Let me put it that way. And the fact that I found out the news like 40 minutes before it came out definitely helped me kind of grasp it. Okay. Yeah, let me know in the live chat, everyone that was surprised by this news. Blade Tidwell will be the next homegrown killer. Tidwell's a beauty. I love him. Also love the man that we just interviewed on the channel, the Mets' #2 ranked prospect in the farm, according to Joe DeMeo of SNY. Shout out to Joe. That being my good buddy Dominic Hamill. Dominic is a high riser in the Mets farm. Was their minor league pitcher of the year. Beauty, 23-year-old right-hander with a ridiculous spin rate. Love the RPMs. He's a stud. JV, thank you for the donut. I appreciate that. This hurts Tyler. I hate his injuries, but I loved him just the same. Sucks if he retires a Ranger. Yeah, that would suck for sure. I think if there's one thing that could be said, maybe Jacob DeGrom will come back to the Mets the same way that the Mets have brought in Scherzer and I'm saying Verlander because it just I don't know why. It just feels like such a lock that if it doesn't happen at this rate, I will be surprised by that. But those short-term high AV deals for guys that are, again, players that are likely that are going to be short-term given their age. But yeah, I could see if Jake's ever going to come back here, I could see it happen for like 1 or 2 years in his career. But that's down the road. We don't have to worry about that for a minimum 5 years. So I'm not even going to waste my breath. 5 years from now, dude. 5 years, like I can't do math. 2028. I'm going to be close to 30, guys. I'm 22. What? Jesus. Lavelle, thank you so much for the donut. I appreciate that. What's up, Tyler? Hope you and your family are doing well. We're doing all right. Thanks so much for asking. This move hurts, but it's time to look to the future. This team is on the rise. Thank you to Grime for all you gave. Will always be a Met. Yes, thank you so much for the dono, Lavelle. Beautifully said. Question now, too, is do the Mets just hone in on the free agent market, or do they try to go all in on some Brewers starters as well? And a Corbin Burns and a Brandon Woodruff. These guys. These are guys that we got to keep in mind now, too, going forward. The Mets have a lot of starting pitching options now. I think naturally they're going to favor the free agent market. Maybe they'll trade for one pitcher, but I don't know. We'll see. As I mentioned, the Mets options now include A, overwhelming the Brewers on a trade for Burns or Woodruff, or B, competing for Rodon in expensive free agent market. See, I think John already has it wrong. I don't think that's accurate. I think Verlander is the most likely of them all right now. I really do. Actually. So while I would love Rodon, or I would love a Burns or a Woodruff's very sneaky good. So underrated. I think Verlander is at the top of their list right now. I honestly do. See, exactly, Paul, as we said from Martino's report earlier. Shout out everybody in here as well. Again, we're just over 1,000 subs away from 20K on the channel, so continue smashing those buttons. And thank you all so much in advance. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see what we got in here. And again, I don't want Verlander on a Scherzer deal. I would like to make that clear. I think that itself is a recipe for disaster too. But it feels like the Mets have to favor the lesser of the evils here, unless they really want to give up prospect capital for young, controllable starters that are not free agents for at least 2 more years. So I don't know. They're going to get very creative here, that's for sure. Packing car to QBC, absolutely crushed. Yeah, have fun at that. I know that's going to be a wild ride for that tomorrow now. But again, I'm crushed too, buddy. I get it. Thank you so much for the dono, Chris. I appreciate you. Again, one thing that I am happy about, honestly, is that this just happened, Ray. Did the Mets even make DeGrom an offer? They were not able to make an offer, apparently, according to reports, once he got in negotiations with the Rangers. Apparently, they didn't even want to hear from him. So I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know, but as of now, it seems like Jake wanted to go to Texas. And I'd imagine Mets didn't want to go for 5 for Jake, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Dan, thank you for the donation. I love DeGrom, but $37 million a year for 5 years is a ridiculous contract, and there's potential of 6 on that deal too. He would have been stupid to turn that down. I'm glad the Mets didn't do that. I doubt they were ever going to go past 3. I mean, who knows? Maybe the Mets would have countered after all, but reports are so conflicting when they come out right after a signing. I think we'll know over the next day or two more things regarding this deal. But it's as of now, what's been reported, again, take that as you will. It seems like it's something where for the Mets case, they weren't even given the option to have like a final offer. Once he started negotiations with the Rangers, Mets were cut off, apparently. I don't know how true that is, but that's what's been reported through SNY. Carlos, thank you for the donut. I appreciate that. Texas get the Jacob DeGrom that got hit hard at the end. I mean, we'll see, Carlos. We'll see. I think he's still going to have a phenomenal career. I think Jacob DeGrom will stay healthy enough to excel, but we'll see. We will develop new homegrown talent. Cohen seems willing to sign expensive short-term leases 2 to 3 years. That's a Senga being signed, Kenmin Otani next free agency. Maybe even also that being in Shintaro Fujinami, who we did a video on earlier today. Make sure to check that out as well, folks. Very exciting player coming from the MPB. That's officially been posted. Max comes off books. Verlander 2 years. Yeah. Thank you for that donut, my friend. I appreciate that. This is a blessing in disguise. DeGrom can't stay healthy, and with health issues, Rangers will regret that contract. Mets get Otani next year. Hopefully, Rodon JV. Let's focus on hitting. Yeah, I mean, the Mets, I don't know exactly to what degree they're going to focus on hitting. That is yet to be seen. Right now, they're just completely immersed in both the starting pitching, the bullpen market, and obviously Nimmo. Beyond that, I have no clue what will come from that as of now. But Juan, thank you for the dono. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that, my man. Pat Benson says, if this was the Wilpon regime, they would sign Jacob Rizzi to make the pen go away. We can never forget that how grateful we still are as Mets fans to have Steve Cohen as owner. That's a fact. Okay, that's a great point. Made me think of fucking Rick Porcello all over again. Oh god. No excuses about not having enough to re-sign Nimmo. I agree with that one. I do. Just gotta hope the Mets do it because there's no better option out there. If the Mets had other like really good center field options out there, then I would say, okay, I can understand it more if you want to let Nimmo walk if he gets drastically overpaid. But there aren't that many other options out there. Nothing that even sniffs what Brandon Nimmo is currently. So that's why I've been a very heavy Brandon Nimmo proponent, because I just don't see how you properly replace him in this lineup unless proven otherwise. John Perna, thank you for the dono. Obliterated those bobbleheads. I got to run to the hardware store to get a lighter fluid tomorrow. But other than that, I'm chilling. How are you doing? Oh my God. I got them right here. I know. I'm not obliterating them. I'm not. Even if I want to sell them one day, they'll be worth a pretty penny because they're both Cy Young ones. But no. John, thank you for the dono. That was a funny comment. That was good stuff. Man, this sucks. I get it. It's gonna suck for a while, for me at least. Shit, man. We're $150 away from 500 likes from the live show. Thank you guys so much for that. Continue smashing those buttons. We're gonna be live for a bit longer still. Not sure exactly how long. I would just like to say too how happy I am by the fact that I was able to come on the show. It's basically been an hour now, and like be okay. Because like I said, for those that quickly breaking down. Funny enough, the last time Jacob DeGrom pitched on the mound is the same night that I had a full-blown panic attack for the first time in my life. I had a really bad schedule routine going on for a while, doing my normal daily content of post-game shows and things of that nature, going to bed really late, taking energy drinks, taking them far more often than I should have for a bit as we were getting close to playoffs. Wild card game 1, I was in attendance. Mets got whooped with Max on the mound, had a very long night drive home all the way back to PA. I barely got any sleep that night. And then watching DeGrom start, that was electric, but then everything caught up to me. And it's just crazy. So I'm just grateful that I'm not having any issues at the moment because I'm not 100%. I still do have I have anxiety. That's what I've been diagnosed with officially. And I deal with it every single day. And sometimes when I do these shows, it's a little too much for me, but thankfully we're doing okay right now. So I just want to say I'm grateful for that because that is something that I'm by no means 100% with still. It's going to be coming in ebbs and flows. You're going to see some times where I just can't, I might just have to take a break or whatever. But I mean, for an hour show, I'm losing my favorite pitcher. It's not happy about that. Matthew, thank you for the dono. Who would you rather have, JV or Rodon? Rather have Rodon. I think there's far more upside with Rodon. I really do. However, I think if you can get him on a 2-year deal max, I'm in favor of JV. I don't like the idea. I just don't like the idea of getting JV at 3 years. 2, I can stomach it, but 3, that's where I'm really, really not feeling too hot about it. It depends on the options. If there's vesting options that, like, say, Verlander needs to make sure he pitches this amount of innings, then I'm cool with it more because that means he's only going to be here as long as he pitches that amount and is still a good pitcher, I'd imagine, right? Because the only thing that I could see derailing JV over the next year and a half, 2 years is really health, just staying healthy at his age. He just said that this year was the hardest year he's ever worked in his career. No shit, when you're 38, 39 years of age, coming back off of 2 years gone from Tommy John. The fact that JV even came back at his age from Tommy John is absolutely absurd. And add that with the fact that he's someone that literally had a Cy Young award-winning season in his first year back. Basically 40 years of age is unprecedented. So again, JV's a phenomenal talent. I'm not opposed to getting him depending on that contract detail. That's the thing. I would like Rodon more. I absolutely would. I just think that for exactly what the Mets are looking for, I would be the opposite of shocked if the Mets get Verlander. And I will be a little surprised if they get Rodon solely because of the compensation pick tied to him. I know that's something that they've been against in years past. But again, they need to address this rotation. Rodon is a stud. Just a thought of that dominant lefty. We should have got him a year ago. I wanted him a year ago, and we didn't. And he signed a nice, cheap 1-year deal with the Giants. Just imagine if the Mets did that, man. Just freaking imagine if they did that and had Rodon in their rotation this past season. That would have been absolutely absurd. They could have easily gotten Rodon and still got Scherzer. But It is what it is. That's then. This is now. He's available once again. So let's see what happens. Kate Upton. Of course, people are mentioning Kate Upton. Steve Cohen just said, I wish him well. He has the right to choose his team. Now this team has to move on to the next thing. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second as I'm checking everything. Top 10 worst day of my Mets fans time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I'm not happy either. I'm upset, but I still feel like things are going to work out in the end for the Mets. I do. I really do. And I think my feeling would be a lot different if there were no other options out there in the free agent market, but there are. So as long as they make sure to execute and maybe pull off a trade if they need to, I'm still feeling okay. Like I will be content, and we'll see how the year goes. Okay, now we're at oh, wow. Okay, so we went from being 51% of Mets fans not okay with this deal to now 51% of Mets fans in favor of this deal out of 1,700 votes here in the live show. That's crazy. And again, thank you guys all so much for the likes, subscriptions. Like I said, we're around 1,000 away from 20K on the channel. Continue smashing those buttons. Stay tuned. We'll have great content. I'd imagine I'll come out with a video, or we'll do another live stream tomorrow as well. Because again, I feel like this is going to be a hectic weekend now. I think a lot more reports are going to come out, and winter meetings is going to be absolutely absurd. So lots going to go down for sure. We need Trey. I would love Trey, but I think he's a Philly, sadly. I really do. Mets should sign any pitcher who owns the Braves. That's fair. Pat, thank you for that dono. I can't tell you off the top of my hand what pitchers are out there right now and have dominant numbers against the Braves, but we'll see. I know that's literally what the Red Sox did when they signed Michael Wacha, because Wacha had great numbers against the Yankees when he was with Tampa. So that was actually factored into their decision making. And it worked because Michael Wacha had a really good year this past year for the Red Sox. At Philly, yeah, I think Trey Turner is going to be with the Phillies. I really do. And Tyler, thank you for the kind words. Great member here on the show. Yeah, I would love Trey Turner. I know the Mets would love him too, but I don't think that they're going to invest, $250 plus million. I wish it was $250 plus million into another infielder that they would try to transition into a potential outfielder or a separate position from short. As much as I would like to see it happen, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not against being wrong, though. Same way I wasn't against being wrong that I'm concerned about Jacob DeGrom not returning. I wasn't against it because I'm not happy. I can't be happy about him leaving. Could Mets get Segura? It really wouldn't make sense for them with McNeil. That's a thing. I don't see how that would be a fit right now. Someone just tagged me this on Twitter. That's actually hilarious. In 2 outings against the Braves, Carlos Rodon has a .75 ERA with 18 strikeouts in 12 innings against the Atlanta Braves. That's a good point. Atlanta strikes out like a mofo. Okay, I'm sold. Go get Rodon. Go get him. Go get him. That's funny as shit. Who sent that to me? Mets Giants Magic on Twitter. Shout out to you. The good stuff. I use Stat Muse right away. That's actually hilarious. That was good. That was good stuff. $100 likes away from 500. Thank you guys so much for that. Continue smashing those buns. Thank you kindly once more. I really, really appreciate it. Let's see here. Guaranteed Darren Ruff will be gone. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, Dave. Thank you for that donation. Okay, question. Oh, change. Okay, let's. Sprite, thank you for the donation. Change of subject. Think McGill will get a chance to be starter again? Absolutely. I think McGill and Peterson are going to compete for the number 5 spot. That's what I think. Yeah. I think they're both going to compete for the number 5 spot, and whoever doesn't make it will find themselves in the bullpen or be dealt. That's what I think is going to happen. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Carlos Rodon is more than 4 years younger than DeGrom. That's true. Rodon threw 100 more innings than DeGrom this year. That's also true. Again, I would love Rodon. I would freaking love Rodon. It's not about me wanting him or not. I just think it's the fact that they're going to be most enticed by Verlander on a cheap deal. Not cheap deal, a short-term deal. If the Mets fucked around and got both Verlander and Rodon, I would sleep like a baby knowing DeGrom is never met again. I will say that. I will sleep like a baby if the Mets got both DeGrom and Verlander. Not DeGrom. Verlander and Rodon. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be nuts. Doesn't this smell like a Mets rebuild? No, Turn Tree. All you gotta do is pay attention. No, that's the farthest thing from the truth. Hey, bro, you guys will get one of the two. I think so, and I think they'll also get one of Bassett and Senga. That's what I think will realistically happen. But obviously, the pipe dream is them getting both Verlander and Rodon. If that happened, that'd be crazy. But if I'm a betting man, I think they're going to get one of the two, and I think they will get then one of Bassett and or Senga. That's what I think will happen. Because they need at least 2 arms, one ace level and the other being like middle of the rotation. Because right now, Cookie, he's fine as a number 4, number 5 starter. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And then one of Peterson and McGill, I'm fine with them competing for the 5 spot. And if you add more, then awesome. But I think for right now, the Mets just need to really hone in on getting that number 2 and number 3. And that's exactly what they're doing. So Sprite, thank you so much for the dono. I agree with that. I absolutely do. Is it time to extend Pete and McNeil now? Yes, I would agree to an extent. Yeah, I would agree to an extent. I'm almost more I feel like I'm slightly in favor of Alonso with the extension right away than McNeil. Just because McNeil gets a lot of wear and tear on his body. So I just have my natural concern that him playing all over the place, it's going to come back to bite him in the ass as he gets older now, because he's already like 30. But I'm not opposed. If they could extend them both, I would be happy with that. Let's see. Thank you for the donation. Pat says, if the Braves suck and the Mets should sign Rodon, give me a hell yeah. 3, 2, 1. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Give it. Pat knows the drill on the live show. Verlander hasn't pitched against the Braves since 2016. He does have a 2.5 ERA though, so not bad. But yeah, literally been 6-7 years since he's faced them. I mean, obviously, not surprised by that, considering he was in Detroit and then went to Houston. Guys, we're 80 subs away from 19K. As we're trying to get to 20K for an extra short-term goal, we are 80 subs away from 19. So then we'll be exactly 1K away. Thank you guys all so much for smashing those buttons. Greatly appreciate your support. Been having so much fun covering the channel, and finally some big news. Not news I'm happy to be discussing, but I'm happy that's over with at least. That's the one thing I will say. I'm happy it's over with, but I'm not happy it's essentially happened as a diehard fan. It's not going to feel right for a long time. It's as simple as that. Let's see here. Did I miss anything? I don't believe I did. All right. Yeah. Pat, thank you for that dono. Appreciate you. Let's see here. What we got? Tyler, before this news broke, did you feel 100% confident was going to resign with us? I felt a solid 80% confident until about 7:30 p.m. Eastern time today when I was informed from people that I know get information, and they were the ones that put me on that Jake was going to Texas. And they even knew the number of the contract. So when I asked I asked, one, are the Mets going to counter? They replied, don't believe so. Two, when is this going to happen? And they said, likely very soon. And I didn't think it was going to happen tonight. So I will say that. I thought it was going to happen over the weekend. I didn't think it was going to happen tonight, though. I thought that this was something, because usually when I've gone these when I've had these discussions with people, I find out around at least a day before something happens. Not this last minute, but that was different. So yeah, the best thing I could say is that it at least helped me knowing that I was able to control my emotions a bit better. If I was caught off guard by this completely heading into the show, I don't think I would have been able to handle it nearly as well. Because even though I was expecting to happen, when it still happened, my heart was palpitating through my chest like no tomorrow. I mean, even when you expect something, it's just the reality of it happening. It's still a whirlwind. It really is. Oh, shit. So this was from November 8th, a month ago. Billy Upper said he spoke to Jacob deGrom's agent multiple times before Jacob deGrom became a free agent. And I quote, we'll find, oh no, pardon me. We kind of made a pact to stay in touch, Epler said. And Michael Marino, who's very reputable, love Michael, does a great job covering the MLB, on Twitter says, I'll give you the short and skinny. They didn't. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Bobby, me too, brother. This is what I mean. There's so many conflicting reports happening with the Jacob deGrom saga here. I don't know if this was a mutual thing where the Mets had a lack of interest on going past 3 years and Jake wanted to leave. I don't know if this is something where the Mets were going to counter no matter what, and Jake simply didn't want to hear them out. I don't know if the Mets really were set in stone on just saying, hey, we're done with Jake. Once the season's done, we're not going to give him anything close to what he's looking for because we just don't feel it's in the best interest of the organization going forward. And that's why they didn't advance in talks. I don't know. That's the trick. That's what's so tricky about something like this, because you have conflicting reports left and right. And I don't think we're ever going to know, at least for right now, we're not going to know truly what's accurate and what's inaccurate. We're going to give our opinions about it. And it's frustrating as all hell. This is what I hate about New York media, too. It's so different. It can't just be straight to the point. It leaks out and it comes in ebbs and flows. Like, you know what's going to fucking happen? Pardon my French. This is what's going to happen right now. When the Mets are on a 10-game winning streak next season in 2023, Andy Martino is going to tweet out for SNY a big article saying that the Mets never gave Jacob deGrom the chance. Jacob deGrom showed a willingness to return, and the Mets didn't even want to hear him. That's the type of BS article I can just see coming out literally next year when something that's happening right for this Mets team, because that exact type of shit has happened so many times. And it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Especially if it's like a half year after the fact. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if it's that far. It means nothing then. Nothing. But again, I'm just ranting now. I apologize. Hey, it's me. Okay, I'm crying right. I'm sorry, Yoshima. Don't cry, buddy. It's going to be okay. Mets are going to make good moves. You know what I'm going to do as soon as we're done being live here? I'm going to prep for scenarios where the Mets are acquiring other players. That way I'm ready to go, baby. I'm bang, 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 bang. I do think the Mets are going to sign a starting pitcher soon. I do. Earlier today, Brandon Nimmo's camp was of the belief the Mets wouldn't turn attention toward Nimmo until the starting pitcher situation became clear. DeGrom's decision is the first domino. Okay, so that's a positive at least. Now, hopefully, the Mets put more interest and effort into Nimmo, because I swear to God, if you let Brandon Nimmo leave and you replace him, with Cody Bellinger and don't add anything more of significance offensively to this line for next year, I'm going to lose my mind. I will lose my mind. So make sure you bring Brandon back, first and foremost. Yoshima, thank you for the dono. I appreciate that. Give Verlander for 2-3 years. Rodon has draft pick comp. And other notes, I created DeGrom in a WWE video game. Bad to give him the whole Mick Foley treatment. Yes, Mick Foley, the New York native. I love that. That's fantastic. If you guys know Mick, fun fact, guys, about Mick Foley real quick. The first Mets game I ever went to, it's when I was 6 or 7. So let's talk around 2007, because I'm 22 years of age. Born in 2000. So I'm going to Shea Stadium, my first and only time I was there as a kid. They were playing the Rockies. And as we're walking to the entrance, a big van crosses in front of us. We see a guy in a Hawaiian shirt in it. And who is it? It's fucking Mick Foley. So that was funny. We got to meet him. And I was a huge WWF and then WWE fan when I was younger growing up. I don't care anymore. I'm a UFC guy. I like real wrestling, even though that WWE is very much entertainment, not to get on a tangent. But that was funny, because every time I think of Mick Foley, I think of that interaction I had with him as a kid. Henry, thank you for the dono. He says, was this a Steven Matz, Freddie Freeman situation? Overall, I'm happy it's over. I don't know. Sad is gone. Time to move on. And the Matz and Freeman situations are like two different things. They're not exactly the same. Happy I won't have to worry about him. Yeah, that is one positive. Jake, we don't have to worry about him in that sense anymore. Can I go live in the afternoon tomorrow? I think there's a solid chance I will be going live tomorrow. I'll probably be going live tomorrow. It's just a matter on if I'll be making a video. It's going to be either a video and a live stream or just one or the other. I don't know yet. I have to see what my schedule's looking like tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know. Don't know yet. Figuring that out. Yoshima, thank you for the dono. If Steve Cohen went on a rampage over Matz, world isn't ready for Steve Cohen losing to DeGrom. Still can't believe Seether 2.0 essentially happened now. I know. No difference is that the Mets gave up on Tom and traded him away. This is different. This is not the same. The Mets may very well have been a solid factor into why Jake didn't return. Oh, no, I'm sorry. DeGrom could have been a heavy factor into why he didn't return. Fox, I missed your dono. Let me go find it, brother. My apologies. Hold on. Oh, I missed this too. Brennan, my man. Hey, long time, bud. Would you rather Rodon and Bassett with money to spend elsewhere, or JV and Rodon? Yes, Steve is rich, but you have to be prudent with luxury. I agree. Would I rather Rodon and Bassett with money to spend, or it's a good question. I want to say JV and Rodon being selfish, because I still think you'll have money to spend. But I think if you get Rodon and Bassett, it assures you that re-signing Nimmo is still going to happen, and you can make the proper moves for your bullpen and maybe add one more bat. So I think from a comfortability standpoint, Rodon and Bassett makes more sense. But from a natural desire of having a dominant rotation next year, well, you're 1, 2, 3. I want JV and Rodon. Then you have 3 guys at the top of your rotation that all can be aces for any team in baseball. Thank you for that donation. And hope you're doing well, Brennan. Love and appreciate you, my man. A lot of time no see, indeed. Let's see. Fox, you said you donated. I'm checking quick to see if I missed it. If I can't get it back, I do apologize. But thank you for the donation regardless, brother. Matthew, who would I rather have, JV or Rodon? Answer that earlier. That was Rodon. Yeah, Fox, I apologize. I can't find your dono. I do apologize about that again. Naturally, I miss some of them when we have concurrent over 1,000 viewers. So please don't take it personally. Um, let's see here. Are there no more George Bretts in the game today? Why are we talking about George Brett, Pat? I mean, a star who takes less money to stay with the team that developed him. Oh, there's obviously players like that. Jake did that when he signed his previous deal with the Mets. We can't forget that either. But again, change of heart can happen since then. How does DeGrom feel how he's been handling the organization health-wise? Has he been bothered by how micromanaged he's been? Has he been bothered by not having run support? Like, there are factors that go into changing players' minds, along with getting an absolute bag that the Mets, as of now, as we know, we're not going to offer the same exact deal. Again, I don't know, though. Pat, thank you for the dono. What's up, Jacob? Sorry, bro, for your loss. I might be dealing with the same situation with Judge leaving. I hope not. Yeah, I think Judge is going to return, but we'll see. We'll see. I agree the Mets need to get younger, not older, but they also are focused in a short-term win-now stage, and that's why they have a lot of appeal for Verlander. That's the point. Verlander, Rodon, Bassett, Senga, F it at this. Yeah, just buy the whole rotation, Yoshima. Who cares? Just buy the whole rotation. Thank you for the dono. Sign JV and Senga could be comparable to Rodon. No pick, less money. Trade for a Rosarena, and I don't see a Rosarena happening. The Rays are not going to trade him right now. And sign a multi-position DH player. Leaves room for Ohtani Soto. Thank you so much for the dono, Erica. I like the thoughts and the optimism there. I'm both in pain and relieved. I think that's the best way to explain myself and the fans of many here in the baseball world. Thank you again for that donation, Eric. I appreciate that. There's no one who can replace DeGrom with his pure stuff. I agree. However, you can certainly still have a really good rotation and win. Look, let me put it this way: as much as we love Jacob DeGrom, and as much as I love Jacob DeGrom has not been an X factor in the Mets winning. As painful as that is to say, it's a fact. What have the Mets done throughout their career with Jacob DeGrom? Not nearly enough. Okay. When he was at his peak, they were dog shit. They were not consistent for him. Okay. Yes, they won that one wildcard game with him, which was electric. Awesome. But at the end of the day, it's been proven that the Mets do not need Jake to win. We all love Jake. I sucks that he's gone. I 100% agree. But they don't need him to win. Okay. It's as simple as that. And I think once that reality starts to kick in more, Mets fans will be more comfortable and understand. But don't get me wrong. I wanted him back. Let me make that clear. There's no guy that I wanted back more than Jacob DeGrom. But I think it's a fair point that you can make that, again, what did the Mets do when they had him in his prime? Is Jake going to be better than what we've seen already? He could be. He can be. But we don't know that right now. So there's a lot of these factors to keep in mind when evaluating Jacob DeGrom and him partying with the Mets. Trade for Brian Reynolds and Marte Canna. I'm only in favor of Reynolds if Nimmo walks. And even then, I don't love it because I'm not in favor of the prospect capital you have to give up for him. But I'm conflicted on Brian Reynolds. If the Mets lose Nimmo, we will talk plenty of Brian Reynolds because he's the only guy that is the proper replacement for him, in my opinion. One of a couple. No one really out there on the market that I would agree with as a proper fit. Again, Cody Bellinger, I wouldn't be against as like a DH/corner option, but he's going to want to play every day and get a full-time role in a one-year deal, and I don't see how that makes sense with the Mets. Eric, thank you for the donut. I appreciate that. And guys, we're 40 likes away already from getting ourselves to 500 likes here in the live show. Thank you so much. We're north of 10,000 views in this one too. You guys are crazy. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to be back in 1 second. I just have to use the restroom quick, and then we're going to talk things up a little bit more. I'll probably get out of here, I would say, in the next 10 to 20 minutes. We'll see. But guys, 15. I think 15 is comfortable. We'll see, though. I'll be right back, guys. Love you to death. Gotta use the bathroom real quick. How are we feeling, everybody? How are we feeling, guys? James says you're a drunk. Who's a drunk? I'm not a drunk. What are you talking about? Aaron Judge is a great fit anywhere. I agree. But he's likely going back to the Bronx, or he's going to be going to his hometown favorite team in the San Francisco Giants, which would be dope. I would actually prefer that happens even with him going to the NL, because it would cause more havoc with the Dodgers and the Padres. So that entire NL West would just be absurd. The NL East is the most competitive division in the NL right now as is. So I like to see the NL East, NL West get crazy again, like what it was in 2021 when the Giants had their absurd year. He will suck with the Rangers. I highly doubt that. DeGrom isn't going to retire soon. That's not true at all. Nope. We're talking about players retiring soon. And yet the Mets are very much a fit for Verlander, who's at the age of 40. You want to talk about guys that are going to retire soon? They already have one on their roster in Justin Verlander. So I don't think that DeGrom comment makes any sense. He just lost his statue next to Seaver. Yep. I'm just grateful that I got to watch Jake throughout his entire career here. You know, that's something I'll be very grateful. Jacob DeGrom is what, for many fans, Jacob DeGrom is to me what Doc Gooden was for a lot of you Mets fans, what Tom Seaver was for a lot of you Mets fans, okay? He is that first true era of dominance I've witnessed as a young Mets fan, and I will always be grateful for that. Obviously, it would have been nice if he finished his career here, but shit happens. Things happen. And as a Mets fan, all I care about at the end of the day is the Mets doing what's best for them as well. Okay, so them countering this properly, they're in a win now stage. I just want them to win. Okay, that's my most important goal. We build these relationships with players 100%. But at the end of the day, as a team fan, your focus is on doing what's best to win a championship. And I just hope that the Mets continue to build and make the proper moves this offseason and get themselves really close, if not all the way there, to the promised land for next year. That's all you can hope for as a fan. So Jake, love you. I wish you the best in Texas, but it is what it is now. He's gone. Over under on DeGrom starts next season? I'm not going to worry about that. He's not a Met. I don't care. He's not a Met. Not a Met. Not a problem. So that's the mentality I got to do to stay strong right now. I'm not as upset as I should be. Oh, I'm upset. Trust me. I've been talking for an hour and a half. Okay. I'm not going to be sobbing when it's been 2 hours already in my system that he's no longer a Met. I got to be headstrong like the Mets. That's how we got to do it. Yeah, John, I know a lot of people haven't seen me without my hat. I just didn't feel like wearing it for this show because I get headaches if I wear it for an extensive period of time. Need to see some tears? You're not going to get them from me. Especially if you full on just chose the Rangers over the Mets. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. That's a wussy thing to do. Hey, guys, listen. At least he's in the AL. Oh, I agree. I'm happy he's in the AL. I'm grateful for that, for sure. You're hanging out with your Braves fan friend tomorrow? That should be absolute hell. What's happening to the podcast? What are you talking about? What's that have to do with the podcast? Bleav in Queens? I don't get what you're saying. Oh, and for those that don't know, because I know we have a lot of live viewers, make sure to check out our weekly podcast, Bleav in Queens. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts. I've been on Apple, Spotify, Google, you name it, it is there. Myself, Joe Serralo, host of the Serralo Sports Talk Show as well on the Bleav Network, and Anthony Recker, former New York Met, now MLB Network turned analyst. Make sure to check us out. We give our weekly thoughts and takes. We do live streams on YouTube every single week, once if not multiple times, and we may very well, I don't know, maybe we'll do a show this weekend. I'm really not sure what's going to happen with this DeGrom news. Wouldn't be surprised if we do a show, however, so keep an eye out for that. Been having an absolute blast, so make sure to check that out. So going to be episode today or tomorrow? I'm not, for the podcast, I don't know. It's a very good question. We're going to have to figure it out. We're definitely going to have to figure it out. Henry, thank you for the dono. Henry says, do you think since the Mets knew DeGrom was signing with Texas, they began pushing into deeper conversations before news broke? 100%. Yes. The Mets have known about this for at minimum a couple hours, like prior to this happening, I would say. Maybe even a day. I'm not sure. But if the Mets were really excluded from having any deep negotiations once Jake began speaking with the Rangers, then that tells them what they know. And I think Billy Epler pretty much alluded to that in his recent presser that he did for SNY. That really gave you a good idea as to like where they felt they were with Jake. And he was trying to be transparent by saying, just giving us a good idea, where we are in line with him and the other way around. So when he was wording that, I wasn't confident at all at the time. So DeGrom's contract is interesting. In 2023, he's only making $30 million next season. However, in 2024, $40 million, 2025, $40 million, 2026, $38 million, in 2027, $37 million, and a conditional option for 2028, but no guaranteed money. That is the contract breakdown for Jacob DeGrom. And because of the fact, and I think Jake purposely was okay with only making $30 million next year because obviously the Rangers have more moves to make. The Rangers are likely still going to land another starting pitcher. I'm praying that isn't a pitcher that the Mets are going all out to get. But they're also going to add more to the pitching staff and more to the offense. Rangers are essentially going to do their best Mets impression by just hiring a veteran manager in Bruce Bochy, changing their front office, changing their coaching staff, and directly altering their rotation and entire lineup to be competing as soon as next season. The Rangers aren't making these moves to be mid. like they were this past year. They're making these moves to have a gigantic jump in performance, just like what the Mets did after what was a horrendous 2021 season to now a beautiful 2022 season that, yes, fell short in the final month. We're aware of that, but there's no denying that the two seasons were night and day different. So you can tell that the Rangers clearly have that same sentiment. They're basically taking the Mets playbook and they're trying to do the exact same thing. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how far they get with landing more players. Rangers doing all this just to lose to the A's, says Yashima. Thank you for that donation. That's funny. I appreciate that. This is a phenomenal tweet by Eddie Krause, the Kidcaster. Someone I'm sure we'll have on the channel in the future. He puts it beautifully. Mets won 101 games last year. Jacob DeGrom won 5. That is something to look at for sure. All right, Mets fans, I love you all to death. I think that is where we're going to wrap up tonight's show for now. Again, we'll have content out tomorrow, I'm sure, whether that's just a normal video, whether that's a live stream, whether that's both or just one or the other has yet to be seen. I have to figure out everything because my entire weekend has changed now due to this Jacob DeGrom news and what's ahead. But I want to thank everyone so much again for chiming in. I know that sucks that Jake is gone for us Mets fans, but just like the Mets, we have to move on and move forward and hope that they make the proper move. So the question is it Carlos Rodon? Is it Justin Verlander, Kodai Senga, Chris Bassett, Corbin Burns, Shohei Ohtani, Brandon Woodruff? Who is coming to this Mets rotation? That's what we're going to find out, hopefully sooner rather than later. Thank you all so much. I love you all to death for the endless donations, comments, subscriptions, support. You guys are amazing. We were far and away the most popping off live stream regarding this DeGrom news here on YouTube tonight. I mean, no one was even close. And that's because of how diehard you guys are. And I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate how much you guys enjoy chiming in to hear my thoughts and reactions. That way you share your thoughts and reactions too. For everything that you guys have done supporting this channel, know that I greatly appreciate every single one of you. I'm very excited. I'm anxious as all hell to see what is next for this team that we'll be covering tomorrow and in the ensuing days leading up to winter meetings. Thank you guys so much again. Have a great rest of your night. And until next time, let's go Mets, baby. Peace out, folks.